Kepler's laws of planetary motion. There are three laws due to Kepler about planetary motion: the law of orbit, the law of areas, and the law of periods or time periods. What is law of orbit? All planets move in elliptical orbits with the sun situated at one of its foci. Before going to know about the law of orbit, first let us know what is a ellipse. There are basically four types of conic section. If you divide a cone, then you will get four type of structures: circle, ellipse, parabola and hyperbola. This side will be in the form of a ellipse. This side of the cone will be in the form of a ellipse. At the middle you will get the shape of a circle, and this is the shape of a parabola, and this is the shape of a hyperbola. You will read about this conic section in mathematics. Then what is an ellipse? What is an ellipse? The structure of ellipse is like this. In ellipse you have two axes. One is called the major axis. This is called the major axis, and this is called the minor axis, and this is the center of the ellipse. O is the center of the ellipse. F is a focus. F dash is also a focus, and half of the major axis is called the semi-major axis. From O to A or from O to P, they are called the semi-major axis. Similarly, from O to B or from O to C, it is called the semi-minor axis. And according to the law of orbit, all planets moves in these elliptical orbits. If you have a planet, then the planet will move in this elliptical orbit with the sun situated at one of the foci. So sun will be at this focus or will be at this focus, and the planet will move in this elliptical orbit. And you see the closest point P, this is the closest point P of the planet from the sun. It is called the perihelion. This point is called the perihelion, and this point, the perihelion, is the point nearest to the sun in the path of an orbiting celestial body. Either it is a planet or asteroid or comet, the perihelion is the point nearest to the sun in the path of an orbiting celestial body. And the farthest point, that is the point A, is called the this point A is called the aphelion. This point A is called the aphelion, and this point P is called the perihelion. Then the second law of Kepler is law of areas. According to the law of areas, the line that joins any planet to the sun sweeps equal areas in equal intervals of time. So you watch to this figure. This is the planet. The planet is revolving around the sun in this elliptical orbit, and the line that joins any planet to the sun, this line from here to here, this line sweeps equal area in equal interval of time. That means in time, let us say delta t, the area covered by the planet from P to P dash is equal to delta A, and at the same delta t time, suppose the area covered in this side is equal to this area, and this area must be equal to this area. And this law comes from the observation that planets appear to move slower when they are farther from the sun than when they are nearer. When the planets are nearer to the sun, they move slower, they move faster, and when the planets are when the planets are away from the sun or farther from the sun, they move slower. So this observation tells us that the line joining any planet to the sun sweeps equal area in equal intervals of time. Mathematically, you can also prove that the delta equal area, that is delta A, must be equal to constant. And from the figure, delta A is equal to half into R cross V into delta T. This you can see from the figure, that is delta A, this area will be equal to half into this radius R into V delta T, because V delta T is equal to this length. So this length into this length into half will be this area. But we know momentum P is equal to mass into velocity. So velocity will be equal to momentum divided by mass. So you substitute here, instead of V you write momentum divided by mass. So here you have R cross P. So R cross P will give you the angular momentum vector. P is the linear momentum vector and L is the angular momentum vector. So R cross P will give you the angular momentum vector. And for a central force, this angular momentum will be equal to constant. And here the gravitational force, that is a central force which is directed along R towards the center. From this figure you can see this is the central force which is directed towards the center along this radius. This is the gravitational force, and this is the P vector. This is the linear momentum vector and this is R vector. So P cross R will give you the angular momentum vector which is perpendicular to R and P. So here angular momentum L is equal to constant, M is equal to constant, mass of the planet is equal to constant. So delta A will be equal to constant. Now let us discuss about Kepler's third law, that is the law of time periods or law of periods. The square of time period of revolution of a planet is proportional to the cube of the semi-major axis, that is T square is proportional to A cube, where T is the time period of revolution and A is the length of the semi-major axis. And if you take Earth as the planet, then A will be, that is the length of the semi-major axis is equal to 15 into 10 to the 10 meter, and the time period of revolution is 1 year. So Q will be equal to T square divided by AQ, that is equal to 2.96 into 10 to the minus 34 year square, then meter to the power minus 3. And this table gives you the length of the semi-major axis of different planets in the unit of 10 to the 10, and the time period of revolution of the planet in years, and the Q, the quotient T square by AQ. This will give you T square by AQ in units of 10 to the minus 34 year square, meter to the minus 3. Now let us discuss this problem. Let the speed of the planet at the perihelion P is equal to Vp, and the sun planet distance SP be Rp, and relate Rp and Vp to the corresponding quantities at the aphelion, that is Ra and Va. Will the planet take equal times to traverse BAC and CPB? Since the angular momentum is conserved, the angular momentum at the perihelion must be equal to the angular momentum at the aphelion. Angular momentum at the perihelion will be equal to MP into Rp into Vp, and angular momentum at the aphelion will be equal to MP into Ra into Va. So the relation between them will be equal to Vp divided by Va is equal to Ra divided by Rp. And since Ra is greater than Rp, so Vp must be greater than Va. So the velocity of the planet at this perihelion will be greater than the velocity of the planet at the aphelion. And from this figure you can see that this area BPS, this area will be smaller than the area ASB AC. But according to Kepler's second law, the planet travels equal area in equal interval of time. Since this area is greater than this area, so the planet will take more time to cover this side than this side. That is, the planet will take more time to cover BAC than to cover BPC. Thanks for watching.